All right, we're about to start here in just a second. No idea where my cord is. Oh, there it is. See, that's the fun thing, folks, about doing an impromptu cast. None of it's planned, anything like that. Going to work soon, but I knew if I didn't talk about this, it's going to be a little bit. So, because I work all these nights, and then I got the Borat review coming up, and then we got to get a bunch of stuff right for the stream, and then we have our secret project on Sunday. Wink, wink. No one knows about that yet. Okay, let's just give it an old retweet. Thanks to Chris Balga, who always gave me these great ideas of saying, hey, you should not go live and then tweet it. Okay. All right, let's fucking do this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Travis Snail. Now, if you might be wondering one thing, I am, for the video listener or video watchers, the camera is somewhere else, has to do with our secret project. So I'm literally just using the webcam and Zoom. So that's why it's not like nice setup or everything like that. I don't even have my fancy lights on. It's super impromptu. I just got back from the gym, hence me drinking just chocolate milk right now. God damn, it's good. Like I'm gonna be cutting off milk soon again, but chocolate milk is so good. But why we're here to talk about my favorite man, the man of the hour. If you're a long time listener, you know this. But if you don't, I'll set the stage. So Jared Leto's Joker is coming back for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, before we get in that, I'm so used to looking up here, but I look down here and it's this terrible angle. Like I said, it's for a secret project. Camera will be back soon. November 7th is our Extra Life charity stream. We're doing 24 hours, 9 a.m. PST, all the way to 9 a.m. PST the next day. We got so much events. We got title matches. We got a bunch of video games. We got a trivia battle. We got a newlyweds. Taylor and his fiance are versus me and my fiance. It's going to be a very fun time. So go do that. If you can donate, please. We hit 1,500. You see this hair? It's all gone. You should hit it because sometimes I look at it like, oh, it looks good. I should keep it. And then I gotta shave it. Make the decision for me. But also, it all goes towards BC Children's Hospital. It's a good cause. Every proceed goes there, and it's tax deductible too. So please, if you can do that, that'd be great. If you can't, just share it on the day. That'd be great because it helps us spread around. So Jared Leto's Joker is coming back to Snyder Cut now. So here's the thing: the Snyder Cut has just been such a trip. It went from not existing, okay, some people believe it did, but the narrative, right, went from not existing to maybe it's out there to there's a cut of it to maybe it needs FX, maybe we need to shoot some more scenes. Now we're just possibly adding shit or stuff that maybe you didn't get to shoot, right? I'm not here to debate the whole narrative of, that, like, oh, is it real? That's not today. Today is about Jared Leto's this Joker. So if you don't know, I absolutely despise Jared Leto's Joker. You can go back to the 2016 Suicide Squad review. I think for me, it's all objective, subjective. It all comes down to opinion, right? And what your tastes are. For me, I think it's one of the worst comic book adaptations ever for a character. I think it's like up there with Arnold's Mr. Freeze or like Venom, like in Spider-Man 3. Like it's up there, okay? So that's how I personally feel. And if you would have asked me 2016 Travis, hey, you ever want Jared Leto's Joker come back? 2017, even 2018, I go, not a chance in hell. I never ever want it. I I don't necessarily want it. And Travis Hines, who hosts DC Lines for our podcast network, he tweeted in our chat like, oh, Travis just gonna hate. So in concept, yeah, I don't like this. I'm not a fan of this. The best way I describe it, Chris Balga, great friend of mine, he loves my food analogies. So here's another one. If you cook me something and you say, try this, and I taste it and I vomit, and then you say, well, try it again, you'll probably like it this time. I go, no, I'm not going to like it. I genuinely feel that many people go, hey, he was cut, lots of stuff was edited, blah, blah, blah. I get that, but I also just go from the performance, even from the first photo, I went, I don't like this take. I don't like everything from the damaged to the grills, stuff like that. I'm not a fan of it. Okay. And we all have that. We all have adaptations of comic books, video games, animation that we don't like. I just generally don't like this, but you can go back. So I love having a podcast. You can go back to the recordings. And I said, hey, I don't like the look, but I think Jared Leto's going to kill it. I think he's going to do great. He's Academy Award winning actor. I said this many times that I think Jared Leto will be great. He was, hi, Izzy, my dog's coming in for a cameo. He was not great in my opinion. I have always said I feel like what Jared Leto perceives as the Joker and David Ayer and that whole crew is what they think the Joker is. But in my opinion, that's not what the Joker is. From what I take from it, right? From what I think the Joker is, they have an idea of what it is. I don't think that's what the Joker is. So Walking Phoenix's Joker happens, all this stuff. The reason I'm not opposed, and I think I may have a guest star coming up in a second here, so I'm not going to I'll cut to the chase. The reason I'm not opposed is because of the multiverse. We see DC and Marvel experimenting with this, right? A few years ago, when the DCU was trying to be Avengers, and people have gone record and said that, right? That's why lots of decisions were changed, lots of things were forced. It was supposed to be the MCU for DC. I was under the impression that we were going to have this Jared Leto, Tom Hiddleston style. He would be around for the next 10 years, haunting my dreams, taking my favorite character of all time. I would be stuck with this adaptation that I absolutely despised everything about it. And we'll get into the Suicide Squad bit in a portion. But the reason, there's two things why, I guess there's three. There's three reasons why I'm not opposed to this. Is the first one, like I said, multiverse. I'm not stuck with this Jared Leto Joker. I had Joaquin Phoenix Joker. I'm good for like another 5 to 10 years. If they make a sequel, I really want that. I think there's potential. Great. But if not, I got a Joker that I love. I already have Heath Ledger, which I think is the greatest performance of all time. But still, I got that. Okay. And there could be, I think, in Matt Reeves' Batman, some people don't think there will. I think there's no shot in hell there's not a Joker in that movie. I think if he does do a trilogy, you're going to see a Joker. And that fancies me as well to see, okay, Robert Pattinson, what is his version of the Joker like? So I know potentially we have Joaquin Phoenix one day. There's all these rumors about 50 million, all this stuff. I don't know what to believe. I don't know if he's going to actually do it, but still, there's rumors that we probably will get a Joker in the Suicide Squad. I'm going to ask for some links here. So we'll probably get a Joker for Joaquin Phoenix Joker, and then we'll probably get a Joker for the Batman. And then we have this Joker, Suicide Squad Joker. I'm not opposed because for that very reason, we have all these different versions of Joker now. I'm not stuck with this Joker, and I'm happy for those people. It's the same reason me and Katie joke about it all the time on the podcast network, but she hates Tobey Maguire. I love Tobey Maguire. And the reason I get some people might not like it, it's a multiverse, and I'm happy because I like it. So I get a version so I can see it's very mixed, the whole Jared Leto Joker thing, right? But I can see why people that want it are happy about this, and I'm happy for them, because if this was just still the Joker, I'd kind of be a little bummed. But this is the good thing of there's so many different versions. People get, it's the same thing I thought about with Zack Snyder and the Snyderverse, why I want this to happen. I want to be HBO Max or even him continuing movies, because it's not for me. But now that there is this thing called the multiverse and we're dipping into it, there's going to be something for me. And that's what I like. It's like comic books. There's something for everybody. So I'm bringing in somebody here. And then my second point before I let Travis go here, Travis is in. My second point before I let you go, the other reason why, and Travis, you'll be here to hear this, I'm not fully opposed, is because the thing with Suicide Squad, I didn't really love the performance, but the other thing I didn't love was the storyline. The thing is, with the Ayer cut, we have seen footage of that Joker be more violent towards Harley, a bit different. So that's the thing. I don't even know if I'm going to still like the acting performance of Jared Leto's Joker, but the story I think I'm going to prefer in that, because I always was bummed that we didn't get to see that Harley Quinn Joker dynamic. I didn't like in Suicide Squad how it was like this lovey-dovey, oh, they're in love, they just broke up. I think for her character, it's better for him to be that way. And before I thought you, my third point is, I'm not a big fan of Jared Leto's Joker, but I'm a massive fan of Ben Affleck's Batman. Maybe not as perhaps as you two, but I have always been interested to see that dynamic and to see what, like, that to me is a very different Batman and Joker. So I am joined by Travis Hines from DC Alliance and my cohort, Chris Balger from Marvel Alliance. How you gentlemen doing today? And then whoever wants to take it, go ahead.
I had to switch the grid there because it didn't show up first. I was like, Chris is on here too? Awesome. This blows my mind. I wasn't really expecting this, but I think We can take a couple things out of this. First of all, very level-headed response from you, Snell. I thought it was going to be more scorched earth, but you're like, I got my Joaquin Phoenix performance like last year, so I mean, why would I complain about somebody else getting?
Mm,
And I think this really bodes well for the Ayer cut
100%.
with the tweet he sent out the other day, and now this. I think that we're going to see that, and I think that helps also strengthen Birds of Prey, in my opinion, because we don't see that much of an abusive backstory with them in Suicide Squad, and they're going off of that in Birds of Prey. Like they
Hmm.
make it like you got out of that, but we didn't see anything. We didn't even really see him turning her into Harley, really, not
Yeah, and
for
they
any extended
filmed
time.
footage of him like legitimately hitting her, which is just like the
Yeah,
anime comics or anime cartoon, the comic. So it was planned in Squad, and it wasn't there before. When we didn't know about Squad, I was always bummed because I was like, why would you take this golden kind of relationship of a good way to turn a character hero and just like water it down to be like, we saw it all during that movie, like couple goals and stuff like, oh, we don't want this for Joker and Harley. So that, and
no,
I've always said if Birds of Prey gets a sequel or continuation, I think the natural progression is Jared Leto to be the villain of that story. Chris.
No, like you said, it kind of surprised pretty much everyone at that point
Oh yeah.
because it the idea that Jared Leto's Joker, as far as we've known, has really not been a part of Zack Snyder, at least what he has always said, what he's revealed. It never was an idea of it being in it. Now we know, obviously, Suicide Squad and everything that, it was a direct tie-in. So it wasn't like he was unaware and him and Ayer weren't talking. This wasn't like, a Star Wars sequel kind of thing where we're talking, but really not talking. So I'm even more curious to see where is this fitting in? Like, are we going to see more interactions between him and Affleck's Batman? Like, what is it going to be what is it?
You gotta
The
do him and
flashback?
Affleck.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You have to because we never got that in Squad. I feel like even just one scene you have to, and plus that even leaves the door open even a little bit more for that Affleck, whether it's HBO Max or just a film, whatever it is. I feel like even if it doesn't happen, make it like a potential. Like, oh, we
Mhm.
could visit this and see if people like it.
well, the one thing too that I'll say is there was a lot of rumors of uh, Deathstroke and Joker helping Ben Affleck's Batman in the Nightmare world. So who knows? That maybe that's what we're seeing from this.
Mm,
Maybe this will be another Nightmare flashback, or well, flash forward.
yeah.
Uh, and it could be that because I don't understand how else he would factor in. And maybe you might see him when Deathstroke breaks out Luther from Arkham.
Mhm.
There's the only two places I can see him fitting in any sort of storyline at all. Like it doesn't make any sense, especially
I
coincide with Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I just don't understand the whole like with the because I know that Prison Break scene might be in there and we've heard it's talked about and stuff like that. I just don't understand where the Joker would work in that sort of sense. I know there was rumors of the Batman script having Luther or having Joker and Deathstroke as kind of like the villains, like villain A and villain B, but it's kind of strange. Here's a fact or fiction. If he's in the Flash Forward, does he have an Omega symbol tattooed on him somewhere?
I don't think he's working for Darkseid. I think he's
No.
the exact opposite. I don't think he wants to be controlled. I think that's the exact opposite of like him being like subversive to the anti-life equation. That's exact opposite of Joker's deal.
Well, here's a couple of things like within the story itself that are definitely talked about. It calls out the project officially titled Zack Snyder's Justice League. That we have never had official confirmation on outside of Zack pushing for it and us, the fans, pushing for it. So I think that's big. That's a big
Mm-hmm.
confirmation. And then the other thing is sources close to Berg and Johns have confirmed the duo's intention to remove their names from the Snyder Cut since they did not work on this version and are no longer studio executives. Sources say the
Yeah.
move pays quote unquote respect to creative vision and additional photography shoot. Sure.
That would just be a
That's
fucking
exactly
slap
the
in the
reason.
face. That'd be a
Where
slap in
was
the face if their name was on this.
where was that respect? But when they didn't postpone Justice League after his tragedy and just said let's put it out so we can all get our bonuses. Oh, we're doing that stuff now. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, but I like I said, I like that we get the confirmation from Hollywood Reporter. The official name, it literally said the official name is Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I'll believe it when I see it, because as I woke up to this morning last night of Michael Keaton being like, I might be playing Batman. So it's like, until we fucking see something apparently on our screen, it's not confirmed anymore on set. You know, it's just like, I thought in August, Muschietti is like,
True.
yeah, Keaton's in. And then it's like, oh, well, I'm talking about, obviously it's just for money. But some things in the chat with Family Clay says, hey guys, you'll be in my pocket, but I'm here. If Jared is in this, maybe it's a Legion do HBO Max series. I don't I don't see Legion of Doom yet. I'd feel like you'd have to get the Snyderverse up and running first and go from there. I want to throw a theory, because at one point Zack said like there's a mention or a hint of it. What if there's even more of a hint of that dead Robin suit? And these are clearly additional scenes. What if it is a flashback? And I'm not saying we're getting a whole Red Hood, blah, 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 but what if it's something to do? Could that be even a possibility of flashing back to that night or something like that? Or even you could see Jared Leto having those perfect teeth getting smashed in. Like, Zack Snyder, to his credit, I've always wanted to see. He's always said like, "Hey, Justice League was supposed to be Batfleck getting back to normalcy." And I feel like if you show him the night before he like really went off the haywire, Joker is one of those nights. And I could see. I think it's unlikely, but it's just I'm throwing out there potentials. Like, what if it is that night? What if it's Death in the Family night? You know?
Well,
Yeah,
yes,
and-
no, you can get the sorry, Chris, you can get the whole thing of Gordon in this too, like having the gun telling him like stop now, you're
Mhm.
going too far kind of deal, and that would be wicked with J.K. Simmons there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in the idea that he's gone on record, it was supposed to be Dick Grayson. Like it's Dick that's the one that's been killed as a Robin. So hey, maybe we've got a possibility of seeing, someone portray, you know, Dick
Oh.
Grayson getting killed at that point. You know, again, he said no compromises. So I mean, this was not in the idea that any of us thought that what if Jared Leto's Joker's in it. Didn't come into mind. So now again, as we keep saying over and over again, everything's on the table. And I do want to agree with what you said, Hines, that yes, this does definitely bode highly, better
Oh yeah.
for the Ayer cut. And my thing with it just hasn't gotten the traction because of just the different things that the Snyder Cut's been doing at that point. And I want to see it. I think that this does a big step in the right direction. I think the big telltale sign is how well this is received when it does premiere. I think that's going to be a big talking point. And
yeah.
it's secret project that Deborah Snyder did say at Justice Con that they are working with someone, but they still refuse to say who that person is at that point.
Yeah, I think the haircut is going to be a given, and I think this one propels it forward, because if they do a press tour or whatever it is, and Jared Leto's on that, you know he's going to get questions. That was always my thing when they did that haircut day or whatnot. When they did that was a Justice League, you had multiple cast members tweet out. I was surprised with the haircut. No one did, you know, like no Margot Robbie, no Will Smith doesn't surprise me because he's kind of off in his own world and he's making like 5 Bad Boys and whatnot. But like everyone else is kind of surprised. Maybe this is not a good sign for Morbius as well, because maybe Jared Leto's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And I don't know if this vampire thing's gonna work, but I wanted to shout a few things in the chat. See, and then Dean Drew Powell said, no, I don't want him. Jared's the worst Joker ever. Again, you got different versions. If this is the only one, you know me, I'm on that bandwagon, but I'm fine with it because I'm fine with it as far as I want to see what it potentially sets up. And two, I don't think if you're really looking to forward to Snyder Cut and you don't like Jared Leto's Joker, I don't think he'll be in it that much, a scene or two, I imagine. So I don't think it'll be anything like that.
Yeah.
Garrus, the Funko collector, said we'll totally be seeing Joker kill Robin. I'm not going to say totally, but I think it's up there. D Wizzle podcast says, I was intrigued by Jared Leto's Joker, not enough to form an opinion. I'm holding full judgment until air cut. I'm sure Snyder will give him better direction. It's a different direction because they have very different takes. And finally, this is well covered. So I don't know what he's referring to. There's something there. But the other thing I want to say is this was also the report. Amber Heard, well, we kind of knew about Affleck, but Amber Heard, Ben Affleck, Ray Fisher are among actors who are currently filming new scenes for Justice League. Those ones don't surprise me. Other than Amber Heard, I guess probably more connective tissue with Atlantis and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we did see some of the sequences we'd never seen before, outside of either screenshots or the footage that we never got to see in the actual cut. So that doesn't surprise me. Again, I think it's obviously more in the Atlantis footage that is still to be done. You know, Momoa, we haven't heard yet if he's jumping back on set or not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just before I jet, because I got to leave again. This was short and sweet. I'm not even going to acknowledge the fact that you're drinking like straight out of a jug.
I was wondering what that look what you were
doing.
doing for. I was like, what is he responding to?
Well, he's full like
it's my chocolate milk. No one else drinks it, you know.
It was a little impressive, not gonna lie. just really excited about this. I think, like you said, it can exist in its own universe, in its own multiverse, and these other things like Amber Heard and him showing up, that don't doesn't really do much. I don't think it's only going to be a little bit filler, but like Jason Momoa said, his Aquaman went off of the Snyder cut. So I'm not expecting anything monumental, like probably just some more added depth for Jason Momoa. But uh, it's nice to see her getting a chance to work, because I know Johnny Depp is going to do something as well. Fantastic Beasts, so they must allow both of them to film. I thought they were only going to allow Johnny Depp, so it was a nice little equal thing there. But really excited, and I can't wait to talk about this on DC Alliance. So everybody should check that out next
Nice
Monday.
plug.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice
thank you,
plug.
thank you guys.
How about this? Sean O'Connell
See ya,
tweeting
Travis.
out. See ya. Sean O'Connell tweeting out. You know, it would be awesome. A book that would go that how they are going to hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
Well, is that a tease for his upcoming book or a tease
Oh yeah,
for a second book
it's
down the line?
it's a link to his book at this point. But again, you know, we'll see. You know, again, everything's on the table. But I also have to jet as well.
That's fine. Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that to you as far as you saying everything on the table. Like that, it literally is the case now. Nothing's off the table. But yeah, thank you, Travis, and thank you, Chris, for joining me for a quick little bit. So I'll talk to you later.
Later.
So there you go. You got the two hosts there of DC Alliance and Marvel Alliance. Really good guys. Check them out. We podcast all the time. Have a good time. And that's right. If you're in this chat, if you, yeah, of course he waves. If you're in the chat, and you really like these versions of Zack Snyder's Justice League and Jared Leto's Joker and stuff like that, definitely check out DC Alliance, Super Civil Servants. You can check out, because Geek First, we've had a very checkered past. We have some people that love them, some people don't like them. We're kind of all over. But if you're someone that really, really likes them and just loves them, they love that Snyderverse. So yeah, it's very interesting. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we haven't touched upon or anything like that. What if Joker breaks into Wayne Manor, beats Grayson, burns the place down? So here's what I want to bring up. And also, Jake Robert Jones said this in Trap. Would love if Joker turned out to be past Robin. That's a theory that I've never really. Wayne Manor is currently in ashes. That's true. But then you kind of have. So let me go two things. I'll answer past Robin thing, then I'll do the Wayne Manor thing, because that opens up two doors. And this is the fun thing of seeing where, because like I've said, I've always, I remember this tweet before I saw Suicide Squad, so I was more interested in Jared Leto's Joker, but I always saw this tweet and it was burned in my mind. It was a picture of Ben Affleck's Batman side by side with Jared Leto, separate images, and it was just like, what is their story? And I've always wanted to know that, right? Because like I said, every Batman and Joker has a different dynamic. There's only two we haven't got to see. I'm not counting Passons. Is Joaquin Phoenix Joker, which technically he has more scenes with Bruce Wayne than Jared Leto's Joker does. There's his kid there, there's a dynamic there a little bit, but I've always wanted to see that. Even the fact that I do, like I said, people will hate this in the air cut from what I've seen, and even the extended cut, I sometimes feel that Jared Leto's Joker is like a Riddler, Jim Carrey SNL parody, especially in the extended cut. There's like, he has this line like, I'll be your friend. I'm happy for everybody that is happy for this. For me, I want to see the air cut first. I don't think my opinion will change much on the performance. I'm hoping the story and character will help, because he is a good actor. You can go back and check. I gave him big praise in Blade Runner. He was great in Dallas Buyers Club. He shouldn't have won the Oscar over Fassbender. To what Ahmed said, is Jared Leto's Joker returning? Yes, TRHR reported. Obviously, nothing's confirmed till studio confirms it, but still, it's Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, Variety. Those are almost as good as to be confirmed. So I've never liked the this guy used to be Robin theory. That was not my theory. I didn't like it. I just, because one, the age difference was kind of strange. Morbius and Joker. Well, yeah, he's gone from Joker to Morbius to Joker. The Viola picture says in the chat. I still think this could be a sign for Morbius. I don't think Morbius in pre-COVID world, I don't think would have done well. So in COVID world, I don't know. But then every movie that doesn't do well, every studio's gonna say, well, because of COVID. So we'll never know for like 5 years, really, of what was gonna do well and what wasn't. But so I'm freaking out now. I love Joker was waiting for the haircut. Well, there you go, Tawhead. That's great for you, and I'm very happy for you. That's awesome. So for Past Rum, I just don't like, because one, the age different. Ben Affleck and Jared Leto are very, very close in age. Two, it's just that I don't know. It's a strange dynamic, and some people try to do this. Well, he has a dead Robin on his tattoo and blah blah blah. And maybe that's not, again, a dynamic I'm really looking for. But even I think Dave Ayer has gone on record, said that was really cool, but that's not what he was envisioning. So there's that. And then the Wayne Manor being burnt down, that would imply a lot. That would imply that Joker knows that Joker is Bruce Wayne. And I know people might make this joke and be like, well, Harley Quinn at the end of Birds of Prey says, well, I have this secret about Batman and blah, blah, blah. And then it cuts off. I don't think she knows it's Bruce Wayne. And I don't think Joker knowing who Bruce Wayne is never really a big thing. And in my opinion, in anime and comics and stuff like that, because he cares more about Batman. He wouldn't give a shit about him being Bruce Wayne for the most part. Maybe sometimes a little bored and disappointed, but that's about it. What if Joker and Jesse's Lex interact? You could have it. So it's interesting because we've heard all this stuff, and obviously, like Chris says, there's nothing off the table, but we've not heard anything of Jesse Eisenberg coming back for shooting yet. So maybe that'll happen. That could come out tomorrow. That would be interesting for the fact, again, will Travis have a mental breakdown? Two performances that I absolutely very, very much dislike between Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor and J. Lo's Joker. If they're on screen together, I don't know if my little brain can handle it, but I'm happy for everybody that would be excited. But like Fanboy Clay point out, like, could this be Legion of Doom thing? I still think that's kind of soon. I don't think that is in the cards yet. I feel like you got to get a lot more to do there. I think this is a flashback, or it is tying it to that Deathstroke scene. Again, that Deathstroke scene has supposedly been, hey, I'm going to bust out Lex Luthor. I don't know why Joker would want him out. But again, this does feel like there is more add-on. This is no longer just the Snyder Cut. This is no longer just Zack Snyder's Justice League. Who let Travis finish this by himself? Oh, it's fine. They came in for a little cameo. That's what happens. It's all good. I was happy they were here. This has become something entirely different. The Truth 31 says Jared Leto's Joker is being set up for the eventual Batfleck miniseries on HBO Max. So I can agree and disagree. I agree that that's in play. I disagree as far as I believe these rumors from like the Culture Nerd, all the places that it's come from, rumor sites are all like CTDT or ones that have gone disproved many times. Go look at Culture Nerd and like their past like scoops in the past 2 months. They're all wrong. Like Ryan Reynolds, Hawkman, blah, blah. They probably it's like, we got this covered saying Ben Affleck's coming back as Batman like 6 months ago and be like, oh, see, we got this covered reports every single rumor they can think of. So, and it's not a rumor, it's just the making up stuff. And eventually, a broken clock is right twice a day. So I think that's the case there. I think I want the miniseries. I want more Batfleck as much as, maybe not those other guys because that's their favorite Batman, but still, I love Ben Affleck as Batman, especially in BVS. He's superb. I think, in my opinion, hold off, don't get mad, but BVS I don't think is the strongest script. With a better script, I think he could be my favorite Batman, but that's still Christian Bale and maybe Robert Pattinson. So HBO Max miniseries, I'm down. It could lead to that, and that could be lots of fun. Let's see. What if there's a scene where, we talked about the Deathstroke breaking out Jared Leto's Joker. I hope Batman tops his warehouse scene in this. Hopefully, because in the Justice League version, Batman doesn't get any really good set pieces, and he's pretty god awful in that movie. That is one. Now I'm very happy to learn that, just because not happy to learn, I shouldn't say that, but I'm relieved because Ben Affleck was just not having a good time. And at that point, it looked like he just didn't care about being Batman or DC at all. So I was a little bummed. You can go back to our review. I just said he doesn't give a shit. And he didn't give a shit because that's not the movie he wanted to make. He's come back and he gives a shit. So he's come back multiple times. So that's the thing that excites me the most about Zack Snyder's Justice League is, yes, Zack Snyder gets to complete his vision. I'm happy for him. I don't love his vision, but as a director, it's good to see that. But for me, it's Ben Affleck's Batman. I'm always down to see more of that. The truth is, I agree. All this is just rumor speculation. However, Snyderverse plans, it wouldn't shock us. Yeah, it wouldn't, because the other thing to me that's telling is before it was like, oh, this is 20 to 30 million, this is 40 million, and then that executive came out and said, wishes 40 million. Now it's like it's 70 million. I think a lot of people, even though Warner Brothers is like, rah, Wonder Woman's coming out in theaters December, it's not coming out December in theaters. At least I don't think in a widespread safe way. I think it'll get delayed again, or it's going to come at like Tenet, where it'll go out but just kind of go out to die a little bit. Tenet made money, of course, but it nowhere a fraction of what it would have, considering a Nolan blockbuster. And Wonder Woman, I even think Christmas time, that people might think that's a good time. That's only 2 months away. COVID could still be running rampant, and I feel like if people are gonna take risks and be risky, they would rather do that and go, I'm gonna see my family instead of go inside of a movie theater. I think that's not good for potential. So this is why I think with the Snyderverse is, I think this is HBO and a lot of companies going, hey, we're going to need a lot for streaming. And again, like I said, Jared Leto's Joker could just be there to set up to open the door for something down the line. I don't, it's weird reception because I don't think reviews really matter. I think it's going to come down to all HBO Max needs to do is they need to look at the view count of what Zack Snyder's Justice League does. If it tips it up a lot or even some, great, we're going for it. If it's kind of stays the same or goes down, if it stays the same, maybe that's fine. But if it's to me stays the same or it wouldn't go down. But let's just say they don't see a bump from it, then they'd go, well, maybe this is not worth their money. But at least in case they do see a bump or a big bump, they leave doors open and be like, hey, were you interested in this Batman Joker series? Boom, here we go. Were you interested in more Henry Cavill Superman? Boom, here you go. It's better to leave it open. And I'm not saying leave it on a fucking cliffhanger. I don't know how I feel about the whole, dark side come through, boom, 2 killing Lois. That to me is like a massive cliffhanger. I would rather it not, in my opinion, happen. Because I would want this to be a closed story. But if they, only reason I'd want it to happen if they already talked to Zack and they're like, hey, edit however you want because we're going to do more, whether it's through animation, which I'd be down for too, or live action. I just think it's good to leave it open. I imagine HBO Max doing a Flashpoint Batman series with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Yeah, I would have loved that, but I think it's off the table now with Keaton as that, and I don't think they're going to do the Flashpoint thing yet. I think if they did a animated or even a live action kind of what if series like Marvel's doing at Disney Plus, if they said, hey, we're going to do a 6-episode series of a bunch of what ifs, that'd be, or multiverse, that'd be tons of fun. Or Elseworlds, I think that could be Jeffrey Dean Morgan's a shine, but I don't think enough people would tune in from the mainstream. I think if he was in the movie and then you span him off, great, but they're using Keaton as that spin-off point, right? To be like, hey, this is the Batman of Flashpoint and blah, blah, blah. So I just think it's leaving lots of doors open, and it's crazy. I couldn't believe it because Chris put it in the chat and it was just a bunch of shock faces. I was like, oh, okay, what is this today? And then I was like, oh my God. And my initial reaction was like, oh, here we go. But as I've told myself many times, and I've told you guys, a few years ago, I would have been pretty bummed. Now it's like everyone has their Joker. Everyone has a version. I'm happy for this, especially if this lives on HBO Max. I feel like if World eventually gets back to normal, Snyderverse could be like HBO Max, and maybe you get some on the big screen. But then Matt Reeves' Batman, which has so far had great receptions just as far as people being excited, could be the movie version. And I think we'll honestly get another Joker there. And I've said this in my Birds of Prey review and the follow-up stuff. I feel like Jared Leto's Joker is a natural progression. Now, we have to just see how this all does, because I think review-wise, as I was saying, it doesn't matter. Justice League, it mattered in the moment, but now like BVS and Man of Steel, people want to have revisionist history of Man of Steel, and that's fine. But revisionist history, as far as I was there, I saw the movie, I saw it with a bunch of friends. Half of people, it's like the internet. Half the people really liked it, half the people did not. I was one of those that did not. I've liked it more over time. Where BVS I did like when I saw it, but I still feel like there is a mixed reaction for all of Zack Snyder's DC movies, even to Watchmen to a lesser extent. But so I don't think reviews matter. It just comes down to, do people put their money where their mouth is? And I said this when the Snyder Cut was revealed, and I'll say it's in the ending point. If you are a fan of this stuff and you want to see more, do not be downloading this, do not be torrenting this, do not promote that, do not, even if you are like in another country and don't get it, like wait to purchase it or find a way to watch it and then purchase it, because that, or purchase HBO Max, however it goes around. That is the only way they're going to, because what they're going to look at is that day when Zack Snyder's Justice League drops, will there be a bump? Mandalorian, there's clearly a bump, and there will be a bump again. And I think there'll be a massive bump when WandaVision comes out. If Justice League drops and there's just a minor to no bump, they'll go, oh man. Because especially now in COVID, they're like, was that $70 million really worth it? It got us some marketing, but if we didn't receive any of those benefits, we're not doing this anymore. So if you're a fan, and I imagine they will, I just have always questioned, we're going to find out. And this is going to be my answer. How big is the Snyder Cut movement? How big is the fan base that will pay and watch to see this? For my personal life, I don't think it is. From my family to my friends to even people on this podcast, we have 6 members, and that's just what comes down likes. We've always said that Geekverse, we talk about what we like. We don't, I don't force people to watch what they don't. We have 6 to 7 members at times. Only 3 of us are watching the Snyder Cut. I've said this before, where it's a mixed world, And it depends. Where you got the podcast network, the people that want to watch it fully or are just interested to watch it fully. But I know some people, it all comes down because Greg says, oh, there's people at work that really care about this. People at my job know I podcast, know I do all this stuff. No one came at me like the Snyder cut. I can't wait. Or what is that? They may when it comes out, but there's not been that initial hype. And still that trailer, that was the first one. They'll be more promoting. It's a whole unknown variance, right? That's with any movie. But this is really, it's time to put your money where your mouth is, because if it comes out and just shows it was a bunch of hype, then I don't know. I don't think it will be a bunch of hype. I do think it is big enough, but I don't have that full proof because I just go off my life, because you can go on the online sphere and that's one thing. But two, I always gauge it as far as times of like, there were certain movies in those DC realms where people that I knew weren't really interested, where, I'm not going to say they're better or whatnot. I do think they are. But like with Nolan's Batman, everybody, when those were coming out, everybody was seeing those. And you could tell because Dark Knight Rises, billion-dollar films, right? Very successful. So you could tell, okay, people are clearly very jazzed about this. Where Justice League, I didn't find many people jazzed about this. That's another debate. I don't think it's because it was the Justice League version. People in the mainstream didn't know about that till later, and some people still don't know about that. Some people still don't know about the issues with Ray Fisher and Joss Whedon and Jeff Johns. There's people that just go to a movie 4-6 times a year, see a big blockbuster, and that's it. I develop pictures. So imagine Bill Skarsgård as Matt Reeves' Joker. I would have loved that before It. The problem is then you get typecast as the clown guy. I think if he didn't do It, and I would have loved him as that. But no, I don't think you would. I don't think you would do that. I've kind of been saying my kind of two fan casts right now are Dan Stevens or Finn Wittrock. Those to me have perfect looks. I think Dan Stevens is a great go-to. So yeah, I think that's everything. I'll check my news here, make sure there's nothing else happening. But yeah, other than NASA's about to make a major announcement about the moon, who the fuck knows? But Jared Leto's Joker's back. Travis is going to get a fucking aneurysm having to watch this, but you know what? I'm happy for all you. And I hope between this and the Snyder Cut, Bill Hader as Joker, you can laugh. I don't want him as that. I want him as Riddler. Bill Hader is a phenomenal actor. Everyone watch Barry. To me, I thought he could have been a great Riddler. Obviously, they went a different route, but he is a phenomenal actor. So yeah, that's everything. Thank you. This was an impromptu cast, but I had to get everything off my mind and chest, because this was I couldn't go to work and just be thinking about this all day. And I thank you to Travis and Chris who's tuned in, and guest everybody else. Go check out the shows, check out everything else. Like I said, check out the Extra Life 24-hour stream. Thank you to everyone in the chat. I'll be back in a few days. So thank you to Fall Pictures. Thank you to everyone, and have a good one. And I promise you next time you hear from me, which will be the Borat 2 review. We're going to fucking Borat 2 review in the next 24 hours. Who would have thunk? I promise you it will not be boring.